On this episode, we talk about evaluating investment property, where to get started in investing, and do you even have a team? Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4, season 2 of the Real Q&A show. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to get right to my co-host, very special person, because he has actually filmed, edited, and produced the Real Q&A show up until this point.
That's right.
First time someone else has filmed this. Well, Micah was like the very first one, and then you came in and started doing it, took over. Incredibly talented, has been doing the Real Q&A show. How many shows have you done? Like 10?
We started, I think, episode, was it 5? Yeah. And fun fact, today, nobody is actually behind the camera on the show.
Yeah.
It's running itself.
It is running. Bots are replacing people. All of you know
crazy.
That. And so we have an incredible bot behind the camera. So
yeah, we call him Kurt.
So Brad is with FLUX Creative.
Right.
Who tell us a little bit about what you do in your own words. Besides shows like this, what do you do?
Okay, well, like layman's terms, summing it up, we do high quality video production. To dive in a little bit more on that, we partner up with companies in a marketing aspect, and we help them market.
Yeah.
Using ridiculously good videos.
Ridiculously good
That's
videos.
right.
I like that.
Yeah.
And one of the things I should say is if some of you are watching this and you're thinking, man, the quality could be better. Why do they keep moving around the camera? All that. I tell Brad not to. So I tie Brad's hands and say, hey, man, I want the fastest setup. Let's just go and run and gun. So some of the other stuff, we're going to link up Brad. You've got to see his videos, especially, what do you call them, the Cornerstone videos?
Yeah, the Cornerstones.
The Cornerstone videos are videos that people do to kind of talk about their business, and it's incredible the work you do. So they're like really entertaining, but they're still about commercial, and that's very difficult. Storytelling and commercial is very difficult.
Yeah, we are story first for sure.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So Brad does a great job with that. But
Thank you.
Without further ado, let's get into some questions for the show.
Let's get into the show. Our first question comes from Erica Wolfe with BWG Realty. She says, do you have a team? And if so, how many people and what roles?
Good question. So I do have a team. I'm not exactly sure if you're referring to the content team, the real estate team, or what team. So I'm going to answer both questions. I have a real estate team. I have a buyer specialist. We're currently searching for a listing specialist, and they kind of help me manage my own clients, like people that come to me and say, hey, I want you to help me find a house. I have a really good buyer specialist that's got her ear to the ground. She knows every home that's coming on the market. She knows properties that are available in multiple markets. She's extremely good. She's honestly probably better than me at helping people find a house. We will also have a listing specialist that's just as well versed in listing and marketing properties as I am, helping to communicate exactly what we do to people and being more available to some of our clients. So that's going to be our team of the future. We also have a transaction coordinator. She takes care of our clients from contract to close. She helps us process documents on the front end, all the listing documents we turn in, all that kind of stuff, helps us get stuff in the MLS. So she helps a lot on all the front end and on the contract to close. On the content team, we have Bot Kurt. There's actually Kurt. Yeah, Kurt Camphausen, Kurt Productions. He's one of the video guys. I mean, you're one of the video guys, but you kind of work freelance for us. We also have Lucas Arnold, who's graphic designer, photographer, and also works with some of the video too. And so that's kind of the content team that we have. And we'll have meetings regularly to figure out what we're going to do, what we're going to shoot and when. And so that's kind of the content side of it. So on the distribution side of it, right now, it's pretty much me. Lucas also helps to post some stuff on Facebook right now, but he's going to be taking more of that distribution side as we dive into that. He's helping us get a lot more content on Instagram. So we haven't been super active on Instagram until recently. So you'll see some of the stories and cool graphics. Essentially now, if you see us make a cool graphic, that's no longer me. That's someone else now. So like our new logo. We have a new logo for this show that we rolled out for season 2. So he helped us update and upgrade the look of the show. Well, yeah, and the old one I made in Pages. Like the the Mac
That's awesome. Yeah.
Pages. I just said I kind of want it to look like this, and I sent someone a screenshot, and they put the boxes. I mean, it was super simple, and so that was the old version. So I told him, I was like, feel free to like edit it. And he said, well, where's the original? I'm like, no original. So they're all super talented, and I'll brag on them for pulling us this far because they've been super helpful. So that's our team on the real estate side and on the content side.
That's awesome. Yeah. Matt King asks on Facebook, what's the best way to evaluate an investment property?
Investment properties are tricky. A lot of it's going to depend on your own criteria, but as you're looking, what I tell people to do is go crunch the numbers and figure out about what you want to return from an average investment. So if you have a house that's $150,000, if you have multifamily that's sitting at $250,000, what would be your ideal return? What are you expecting to make on the dollar? Then I want you to compare it to the stock market, because if you can get an easy return in the stock market for more than you could put it into real estate, then maybe that's what you would rather do. However, if you could get more of a return in real estate when you account for the appreciation of the product, when you account for someone else, like tenants paying for it, then look at those numbers, look at those returns, and really dive deep into it so that when you see a $250,000 property, you can put it through the paces, and it's going to take you a long time at first. So put it through the paces, taxes, insurance, maintenance, rent rates, all that kind of stuff, and then start calculating your overall return. Like if we're making that per month, what is that per year? And then what is that compared to the list price? Then you should start to kind of have a good idea of what your target is to the return and list price. And that helps you really quickly evaluate a property, because you could look at one and say, well, this house sells for $200,000. It'll rent for $2,000 a month, right? That's a 1% rule, where you're getting 1% every month. That's 12% a year. It's 24% in 2 years. So in 2 years, if you put 20% down to buy that property, you essentially have your money back in 2 years, plus some of the expenses. So now that's all you put down. So your cash on cash return is now 100%. So from then on, it's just exponential. So that's the kind of stuff you want to be able to do in your head to evaluate the properties quickly, to know if it's one that you want more info on, know if it's one that you want more details on. So you could kind of come up with your own rules. A couple of rules of thumb that are out there is a 2% rule, a 1% rule. So 2% would be $4,000 in the example. 1% would be $1,000 a month in that example. And then there's a 20% per 2 year that some people look at, which is a 0.8% return per month. So I believe that's 10% a year. So if you get 0.8%, then you're making about 20% in 2 years. And so those are the basic rules that people look at when they're trying to quickly evaluate a property to know about what they're looking to gain out of that. If you look online, you'll see a lot of these formulas, like you want to get 30% off of list price and then make 70% off there's all these different formulas online, but really it's what you want your dollar to do for you. That's what you're looking for. And then once you figure that out, you can quickly evaluate it.
Very good. Our last question comes from Hintz510, and this is a question that we summarized from Reddit. I'm 20, I'm going to school for education, and I want to invest in real estate ASAP, but I have no idea where to start. Where and how should I gain information and skills on how to renovate a house?
I love this question, and he has several other questions after this that go a little more into in depth of what he's going to do, but I'm just going to take this first part. This is a really great question. Great question.
Great.
Yeah. If you're looking to get started in real estate, one of the best places to go, if you're looking to flip, see if you could get, if you're in college especially, see if you can get an internship or part-time job with a contractor and start work with them. And they say, hey, we got to go over to this house and help this lady take out a wall and put in a beam. Well, now you're going to figure out how to open up a house, right? And so just doing the work under someone who knows what they're doing is going to teach you a lot about home renovation. Now, there's no way that you're going to have 20 years of experience in 2 years. So a lot of the work that you're going to do, a lot of the experience that you're going to gain is going to come from your own mistakes. And you also have to be okay with those mistakes. Now, if you surround yourself with people that can help you, like if you went to work for a contractor for a couple of years while you were in college, and then you expressed an interest in a property and you invited that contractor whom you work for to come check out this property with you, I bet you would get all kinds of help from that contractor. And they would be more than willing with your labor to help you with the house and to help you start to flip. And so that's the kind of thing. I know you can read books. This guy said, or guy or girl said that they had read several books. One was The Millionaire Real Estate Investor that was put out by I think Gary Keller. Keller Williams has a publishing group that did all the research behind that book. They have two other books I would recommend. One is called Flip, and the other is called Hold. Read both of those books, and you'll kind of see some of the same veins throughout, but it'll also help you determine which one you want to do. Do you want to flip or do you want to hold? So if you want to flip, which it sounds like that's what you want to do since you're looking at renovation, then I would definitely start work with a contractor just to learn some basic construction stuff. I mean, I'm currently involved with an extensive remodel, and I am learning all kinds of things since we started. And so now, after I do that remodel, the next remodel should be a lot faster, and I should be able to tell. Now, when I go and see a property, I can tell a lot more about the property because I've been in my own walls. I've been in my own air ducts. So when you take on an extensive project, you'll learn a lot. So if you break even on your first flip, you've been massively successful, in my opinion, because of the experience you'll gain, and everything you learn from that process is going to pay you way more in the future. So don't be afraid to break even. As long as expenses are covered, maybe you covered some of your own time, that's great. You don't want to go belly up on your first one. So be careful with what you buy. Find a real estate agent you trust. Keep to your criteria. Don't move outside of that criteria. Those are probably the most important things I could tell you in getting started. But yeah, try to get that experience with a local contractor.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Very good.
Well, I think that's the majority of the questions we have for this show. Do you have a question for me?
Yeah, I do have a question, actually. So I think with Pixel Properties, you got a very, very special thing going on here.
Cool, yeah.
But what I want to know is, at the heart of what you're doing as an agent and owning Pixel Properties, what is your passion? What's driving that passion? Like, what is your absolute favorite thing about what you do? Like, I always tell people on Mondays, I can't wait to get to work on Mondays. Like Sunday night, I'm ready for Monday. Like, what is it that makes you just so ready for Monday?
Yeah, I mean, you even made me squirm in my seat just saying. So I get really excited about helping to change this industry. I mean, that's one of the reasons we do this show. I don't get anything from this show, right? This is not monetized. We're not running ads yet. Maybe in the future, if Coke wants to sponsor me, I'll drink one, right? But we're not doing anything like that. That's not what this show's for. This show, in my opinion, is just to kind of help the consumers and help other agents think about real estate in a different way. The first 2.5 years when I restarted in this industry, I really focused on the back end and the systems and the processes and why this client had a fantastic experience and this one was fantastically terrible. What was the difference? What could I have said different? How could I have managed the other agent differently? So I journaled all that stuff. And now we have a pretty good process and system from that. And when we saw the industry start to change and to become more media friendly and then to become more media to where now we're a real estate brokerage, but we behave a lot more like a media company than a real estate brokerage. So the question is why? I think there's two ways real estate agents are going to go. They are either going to have to discount their services because they can't provide what they used to provide, and the days are gone of charging full price to put a sign in the yard, put a lockbox on the door, and get them in the MLS. Those days are long gone. You have Zillow right now that lets people sell their house. You have offers.com that lets people sell their house to offers to buy another one. Then offers turns around and sells their home. So you have all these things that are replacing that low end. So agents are going to massively discount, go all the way down, or they're going to have to increase the services they provide. Either way, it's going to be more expensive for the agent. They either discount their services all the way down, or they go and give incredible service to the customer. I personally think the latter is the best way. I think providing extensive service, giving our clients an upper hand in the market, helping them sell for more than they would to offers or Zillow, or just being on the market with an average agent, helping them sell above market value. Those are the things that we can provide, and those are the things that I want to provide to help change the industry. And so I think the more we do that, the more word gets out, the more other agents kind of lift their game, kind of get on top of it. And that's really what excites me every day. And now that we own our own company, it allows us, when agents come to us and say, hey, what are you guys doing? If they fit the model and they kind of fit what we're looking for, we can kind of take them under our wing and start teaching them the model. And then they become people who can help change the industry. So now it can really start to spread like wildfire. So that's what really gets me excited. It's helping to, I know it's a lofty goal, but helping to change an entire industry.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah. Absolutely.
So what about you? You said you love coming in on Mondays. What's the one thing that you're like, this is it, I want to do this?
Man, I think there are multiple things, honestly. I think you could probably relate to that. On the video aspect of things, I love creating and telling stories. Yeah. I love being able to inspire people. I love being able to meet with inspirational people and pass along their story with my own creative touch on that. But I also love being able to create just insanely awesome visual, visuals. I want it to look amazing,
Right.
which is why every time I walk in here to do a shoot with you, I can't help but bring all my gear because I just want it to look amazing.
That's right.
And even when you tell me no, don't do that, I just can't help myself. But also, Flux is a marketing company, and I love being able to help people do that market. It's not just a, here's your video, good luck. We helped you create the video you wanted, but we're done after that. We actually work with our clients from beginning to end. And so it's almost like I have a little piece of that company. Like I care about that company. I care about how we're helping that company. And so I'm very excited to help each and every one of my clients, know.
You're exactly right. Creating the content is one thing. Distributing the content is a totally different ballgame.
Absolutely.
And a lot of folks can create the content or get the content. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of folks, because there's actually a lot of people creating content that's not really great content. So, and some of you may be watching this and thinking the same thing. That's fine. But there's a lot of people that create some content, but then distributing that content, getting in front of the right people, that's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
So now that you've added that extra part, that's going to be pretty cool.
And being able to work with them on the front end too, saying, hey, we're going to create this campaign for you. That helps accomplish your goal.
Right.
Not just you come to us with this idea and we're like, yeah, we'll do that. It's not the right thing, but we'll do that for you. But we actually get to help you and partner up with you on the front end and on the back end.
Yeah. It's maximizing the usefulness of what you're producing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for joining us on the show.
Yeah.
I appreciate you also filming the show. So you've always been a pro at that, which I appreciate.
I want to do one quick thing too. I don't think anybody has ever taken a live selfie on this show. So whenever people, visit my Instagram page, they'll be able to see this live selfie.
Oh, the robot's in it.
Oh, the robot. Great. First live selfie.
There you go. First live selfie on the Real Q&A show.
Excellent.
So, again, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for asking the questions. If you have a question, feel free to put a hashtag in, or feel free to put the question in the comments. You can also ask it with a hashtag RealQA anywhere on the social networks, and we'll find it. So I appreciate all the questions that we've had so far for season 2, and keep them coming. Thanks.